Some manufacturers are going to hate what I have to say today. I do not care. If you are looking for marketing fluff, you are in the wrong place. We are talking about real-world survival when the systems we rely on every day start to crumble. Everything we cover today is 100% legal, bought through proper channels, reviewed in full compliance with federal and state law. We are hunters. We are collectors. We do this the right way. This is about civilian disaster preparedness and nothing else. When the supply chains fail and the grocery store shelves go empty, you need tools that work. I have looked at the data and the logistics. I have stripped these guns down to the pins and springs. We are ranking the 10 firearms you need for a grid-down scenario, from the absolute best to the necessary backups. Let us start where any honest list has to start, at the very top. The number one spot on this list is not even a contest. This rifle sits here because it is the logistical king of the United States. No other platform comes close to what the AR-15 offers in a supply-disrupted world. I am talking about duty-grade platforms like the Colt Enhanced Patrol Rifle or the PSA PA-15. In a civil unrest scenario, you do not want a boutique safe queen. You want a rifle with a parts supply chain funded by the Department of Defense for decades. Components for this platform are 99% interchangeable across thousands of makers. A spring snaps or a pin walks out, you can find a replacement. Almost any town in America has what you need on the shelf right now. The AR-15 uses a direct impingement gas system that keeps the weight low. The Colt model weighs in at a very nimble 6.6 pounds. It is chambered in 5.56 NATO. This round captures over 33% of the total market revenue for a reason. Light enough to carry 1,000 rounds without breaking your back. The kinetic energy from a 55-grain projectile is roughly 1,286 foot-pounds of energy. That is enough to take down a predator or harvest a deer if the grid goes dark. You get 30 rounds in a standard magazine. The recoil is non-existent. Even an exhausted person can stay on target with this rifle. Now here is the part they do not put in the brochure. The direct impingement system is a dirty bird. It blows carbon and heat directly into your bolt carrier group. If you do not keep it lubed, it will eventually choke on its own soot. You might also experience what I call the face fart. Gas can squirt out of the charging handle hole right into your nose. This gets even worse if you run a suppressor. The trigger on budget models can feel like dragging a brick over sandpaper. Standard plastic hand guards will heat up fast during a sustained fire session. But the logistical reality outweighs the mess every single time. The call on this one is simple. Pull the trigger. This is the only rifle that offers total parts commonality across the entire country. Now, number 2. This one earned its spot by solving a problem nobody else on this list even tried to address. The Glock 19 is the universal sidearm of the modern era. It sits at number 2 because it is the most common 9mm handgun in existence. If you find yourself in a disaster, you will find Glock magazines. You will find 9mm ammunition. This handgun holds 15 rounds in the flush fit magazine. It only has 34 parts in the entire design. You can detail strip this thing with a single punch tool in the dark. The polymer frame is rugged and does not care about moisture. It weighs about 23 ounces empty. Light enough to carry all day without a second thought. The barrel length is 4 inches. That gives you plenty of velocity for a 9mm round. The reset on the trigger is short and tactile. You can feel exactly when it is ready to go again. But I need to be straight with you before you write the check. The factory sights are absolute garbage. Made of plastic, they will eventually break or shear off. The ergonomics are about as refined as a 2x4. If you have small hands, the double-stack grip might feel like a handful. The trigger pull is consistent, but it is definitely mushy. It does not have a manual safety. That means your brain is the only thing keeping it from going bang. Some people hate the grip angle. It points high for shooters used to traditional designs. Here is the bottom line. Pull the trigger. You cannot afford to not own the most common handgun in America. Moving to number 3, and this is where things get genuinely interesting. The Mossberg 590A1 is the 12-gauge beast of home defense. It takes the number 3 spot because it is the only pump shotgun to pass the military torture tests. This is a mechanical sledgehammer. It features a heavy walled barrel that can handle incredible abuse. The trigger guard and the safety are both made of metal. Most other shotguns use plastic in those spots. The capacity is 8 rounds in the tube, plus 1 in the chamber. That is serious firepower for a 12-gauge. It features dual extractors for positive shell removal. The safety is located on the tang. That makes it ambidextrous and easy to find with your thumb. The shell lifter stays up and out of the way. This makes reloading under stress much faster than other designs. It has a Parkerized finish that resists corrosion in wet environments. Now, here is what keeps this gun from climbing higher on the list. This thing is a tank, and it weighs as much as one. A fully loaded 590A1 is incredibly front-heavy. Your arms will feel the weight after only a few minutes at the ready. The action can feel rattly and loose compared to high-end guns. Recoil with 12-gauge slugs is punishing. It will leave your shoulder bruised if you do not have good form. The ghost ring sights are great, but they are slow for some people. It is a dedicated defensive tool with very little hunting utility. My read on this one: pull the trigger. When you need to stop a threat inside 50 yards, nothing beats a 12-gauge pump. Number 4, and I want you to understand something before we get into this one. The Zastava ZPAP M70 is the AK pattern rifle that actually works. It sits at number 4 because it offers superior barrier penetration. When the world gets messy, you might need to punch through a car door or a cinder block wall. The 7.62 by 39mm round does that better than the 5.56. This Serbian rifle is built on a heavy-duty RPK frame. It has a 1.5mm stamped receiver. That is thicker than the standard 1mm versions. It features a bulged trunnion for extra strength. The barrel is cold hammer forged and chrome lined. That means it will eat cheap corrosive ammo and keep on ticking. The side rail allows for optic mounting. It has a bolt hold open notch on the safety. That is a rare and useful feature for an AK. The wood furniture is beautiful and rugged, but I have to give you the full picture before we move on. This rifle is heavy. The thick receiver and bulged trunnion add significant weight. AK ergonomics are an acquired taste. The safety lever is loud and clunky. Changing magazines requires a rock and lock motion that takes practice. Some batches have had issues with the magazine catch being out of spec. This can cause the rounds to nosedive and jam. If the barrel ever wears out, you need a hydraulic press to replace it. Parts commonality is not as good as the AR-15 in the States. Here is where the Zastava lands. Pull the trigger. If you want a rifle that functions in the mud and the grime, this is it. Number 5, and this is the one that will actually keep you fed, the Ruger 1022. Takedown is the essential foraging tool on this list. It earned this spot because you cannot eat a tactical rifle. This is a 22 long rifle platform that breaks into 2 pieces. It fits perfectly inside a backpack. You can carry 1,000 rounds of ammo in your pocket. The rotary magazine is almost fail-proof. The iron sights are simple and effective for small game. The weight is under 5 pounds. This is the perfect tool for a non-expert under stress. It is quiet and does not draw unwanted attention. The aftermarket support is massive. You can change every single part on this gun if you want to. And here is the thing, nobody in the marketing department wants you to know. The factory trigger is squishy and gross. The bolt hold open mechanism is a frustrating design. You have to fiddle with a tiny lever to lock it back. The iron sights are basic and not great for precision work. The takedown mechanism can sometimes affect your zero. If you do not tighten the adjustment knob, your groups will open up. The stock feels a bit cheap and hollow. It is not meant for defense against large predators. It is a small game tool and nothing more. So where does this leave you? Pull the trigger. Survival is about calories, and this gun is a calorie machine. Moving to number 6, and this is for the person who wants a duty-grade pistol, built to last a lifetime. The Sig Sauer P226 is a masterpiece of metal engineering. It sits here because it is one of the most durable handguns ever made. This was the choice of the Navy SEALs for decades. It features an aluminum alloy frame and a steel slide. The double-action, single-action trigger system is incredibly safe. The first pull is long and heavy at 10 pounds. Every follow-up shot is a crisp 4 pounds. The ergonomics are superior to the Glock. The grip is rounded and fills the hand perfectly. It has a decocking lever that lets you lower the hammer safely. The accuracy is exceptional out to 50 yards. It feels stable and eats recoil for breakfast. Now here is where the fantasy meets the bank statement. This gun is heavy and bulky. At 34 ounces empty, you will feel it on your hip all day. It is not a good choice for concealed carry in light clothing. The bore axis is high. That means you get more muzzle flip than a Glock. The magazines are expensive, often $40 or more each. It requires more maintenance than a polymer gun. You need to keep the rails greased or it will gall the metal. The double action pull can be difficult for beginners to master. It is a refined tool and it demands a trained shooter. And the verdict after all of that: pull the trigger. This is a lifetime investment that will never let you down. Number 7, and this is the classic American pump gun that refuses to die. The Remington 870 Fieldmaster holds this spot because of the sheer volume of parts available. There are millions of these in circulation across the country. The steel receiver is built like a vault. The action is smoother than the Mossberg right out of the box. It points naturally for most shooters. The dual action bars prevent the pump from binding. You can find barrels for this gun at any pawn shop in the country. It is a versatile tool for hunting or home defense. The crossbolt safety is familiar to anyone who grew up hunting. It has a classic look that does not scream tactical. Before you pull out the checkbook, hear me out on this. Remington has had massive quality control issues for years. The finish on some models is known to rust if you even look at it wrong. The chambers can be rough and cause shells to stick. The extractor is a known weak point on the cheaper models. You might need to spend $20 on a Volquartsen extractor to make it reliable. It is harder to detail strip than the Mossberg. The shell lifter stays down and can pinch your thumb during a reload. It is a gamble when buying new. Where does the 870 land? Pull the trigger. Check the finish and the chamber before you walk out of the store. Number 8, and this is the reach-out rifle for when 50 yards is not enough. The Springfield M1A SOCOM 16 is a shortened battle rifle that punches at a different weight class. It sits here because it packs 7.62 NATO power into a compact package. This is the civilian version of the M14. It features a 16-inch barrel and a proprietary muzzle brake. The brake is incredibly effective at reducing muzzle rise. The two-stage trigger is tuned and breaks like glass. It has an enlarged ghost ring rear sight for fast target acquisition. The forward scout rail lets you mount a red dot or a long eye relief scope. The safety is a steel tab inside the trigger guard. It is a rugged all-steel action that does not use aluminum. The 20-round magazine gives you real reach. Before we move on, you need to hear this part. This gun is loud enough to wake the dead. The muzzle blast will rattle windows and deafen anyone nearby. It is not a precision rifle. You can expect groups around 2 to 3 inches at 100 yards. Mounting a traditional scope is a nightmare of expensive brackets. The ergonomics are dated and clunky. It weighs over 9 pounds empty. The gas system is more finicky than a standard length rifle. It is an expensive platform to buy and to feed. So what is the call on this one? Pull the trigger. If you need to reach out and stop a threat at distance, this is your hammer. Number 9, and this is your mechanical insurance policy. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 Plus is the most reliable sidearm on this entire list. It sits here because it works when everything else fails. This is a 7-shot revolver chambered in .357 Magnum. It can also fire .38 special rounds for training. The stainless steel construction is nearly indestructible. There are no magazines to lose or springs to fatigue. The double action pull is heavy, but the single action is incredible. It is a simple design that anyone can understand and operate. The 4-inch barrel offers a great balance of velocity and handling. It has adjustable sights for precision. The internal lock is a point of contention, but the gun itself is solid. Here is where the romance runs into reality. The factory trigger pull is around 12 pounds in double action. That is a massive commitment for every shot. The ejector rod can loosen up under heavy recoil. The cylinder can bind if you do not keep the face clean. It is heavy and slow to reload compared to a semi-auto. 7 rounds is not much when you are facing multiple threats. The recoil with full power magnums is significant. It is a backup tool for when the primary systems go down. The bottom line on the 686, pull the trigger. Every survival kit needs a gun that does not rely on a magazine. Last on the list, and do not mistake last for least, the Henry U.S. Survival. AR-7 is the purest emergency backup rifle on this list. It earns the number 10 spot for one reason: packability. The entire rifle fits inside the waterproof floating stock. It weighs only 3.5 pounds. This is the gun you keep in the trunk for the day you never expect. It is a blowback semi-auto that is easy to assemble under stress. The trigger is surprisingly decent at around 3 pounds. It comes with 2 magazines that store inside the stock. The floating capability is a genuine advantage for anyone near water. But this gun comes with a ceiling, and here is exactly why it lives at number 10. The reliability is incredibly picky about ammunition. It generally only runs well with high-velocity copper-plated rounds. The plastic barrel shroud feels flimsy and cheap. The sights are basic and hard to adjust. The thick buttstock feels weird and blocky against your shoulder. The accuracy is average at best, maybe 3 inches at 20 yards. The steel pins can eventually wear out the aluminum receiver holes. It is a specialized tool, not a workhorse. Here is where I land on this one. Walk away. Buy the 1022 Takedown instead, unless you literally need it to float. That is the list of the only 10 guns you need when the lights go out. Everything we covered is based on real-world logistics and disaster preparedness research. Scoper 360 takes zero sponsorship money from any of these brands. Our rankings are based on what works when the grid fails, not what looks good in a catalog. Next time, we are diving into the gear that everyone buys but nobody actually needs. You do not want to miss that one. subscribe and hit the bell. You know what to do. Scoper 360, out.